Hey, good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us this evening. I hope you all had a good day. So let's quickly start by watching a video.
हे दोस्तों, वेलकम टू अपना कम्युनिटी। ये वो जगह है जहां आप अपने असली पोटेंशियल को एक्सप्लोर कर सकते हैं। देखो, सबके पास स्किल्स होते हैं, पर क्या आपके अंदर वो स्पार्क है जो आपको कामयाबी की ऊंचाइयों तक ले जा सकता है? अगर आप सोच रहे हैं जॉब चेंज करने के लिए, लेकिन रेज्यूमे सेलेक्ट नहीं हो रहा, या फिर इंग्लिश में इंटरव्यू देना थोड़ा चैलेंजिंग लग रहा है, तो फिक्र मत कीजिए। यहां हम हैं आपके साथ, आपको सपोर्ट करने के लिए। अपना कम्युनिटी में आपको मिलेगी बेहतरीन कम्युनिटीज, जहां आप अपने प्रोफेशनल स्किल्स को सुधार सकते हैं। चाहे आप एक्सेल, टैली, जीएसटी में माहिर बनना चाहें, या फिर आप खुद एक ब्यूटिशियन या डिजाइनर हैं, तो यहां आप अपने काम को शोकेस करके दूसरों को टिप्स एंड ट्रिक्स देते हुए आगे बढ़ सकते हैं। अपना कम्युनिटी में आपको मिलेगा मेंटर्स का एक खजाना और बड़े इन्फ्लुएंसर्स का साथ, जो आपको हर कदम पर 1-to-1 गाइड करेंगे। यहां आप ज्वाइन कर सकते हैं अपने फील्ड या इंडस्ट्री स्पेसिफिक ग्रुप्स, जहां आपको ऐसे कई लोग मिलेंगे जिनसे सीख के आप वो गलती ना करें जो वो कर चुके हैं। ऐसे लोगों की जिन्होंने स्टार्ट किया था एज एग्जीक्यूटिव्स एंड आर नाउ सक्सेसफुल मैनेजर्स इन देयर डोमेन्स, जो आपको आगे बढ़ाने में मदद करेगा। यहां आपको मिलेगा वो सही डायरेक्शन जो आपकी करियर को नेक्स्ट लेवल ले जाएगा। तो लेट्स अनलॉक योर पोटेंशियल टुगेदर। अपना कम्युनिटी में ज्वाइन करें और अपने सपनों की ऊंचाइयों तक पहुंचने का सफर शुरू करें।
Yes, again, good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining today's session. Let me quickly start by giving you an introduction about this session. So, I'm Siddharth. I'm from QFUS. So, we are hosting this as a partnership with Apna. We host these sessions every day on every weekdays on 7 p.m. and between 3 to 5 p.m. on weekends. And we cover a wide variety of subjects like AI, data science, product management, English, interview prep, resume creation, etc. The main objective of these events is to help you grow professionally and help in the advancement of your career and get better jobs. I guess Jayant has joined here. Hey, hi Jayant. Thank you so much. So we have Jayant here for this session. Let me quickly introduce him. So he is a data science lead at Zscaler. He's a highly motivated data enthusiast with a postgraduate degree in AI from Great Lakes. Uh, he has experience working in Accenture, Impact Analytics, Sapient and Zscaler, uh, utilizing technologies like Python, SQL, AWS, and more. There's a strong track record in regression, EDA, CNN, NLP recommendation engines, and leading teams in various data projects. He's also mentored a lot of individuals over the years with UFAs and other entities. So thank you again, Jayant, for joining us today. So before we start, a quick reminder, if anyone has any doubts or questions, please put it in the chat. We'll also allow you to unmute yourself during the session and you can ask him. किसी को कभी भी कोई भी सवाल या प्रश्न पूछना है, आप चैट बॉक्स का इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं। हम आपको अनम्यूट करने का भी ऑप्शन देंगे जब जयंत बीच में ब्रेक लेंगे क्वेश्चंस के लिए। सो या जयंत, हैंडिंग इट ओवर टू यू।
Oh, thank you very much, Siddharth. That was so nice of you, for the intro. Thank you very much, and welcome everyone. Thank you very much for joining this session. We'll have a very good presence today. I can see a lot of participants. Yeah, so we'll be expecting a lot of question and answer from you all. It's a session for you, right? The primary goal, as Siddharth laid out the roadmap for today, is that we will be, entertaining the trends what are going on in the AI or the data related world. But it's more for you, right? It's like we are gonna put our thoughts. Like I will be something which I am observing in and around in the industry. That is something I want to put forward. But it would be more beneficial, right, if you all can, relate to those things which I'm going to present now and ask questions so that you get the best out of this session, right? So we'll be keeping an eye on the chat window every now and then. It will be, amazing for us to interact, right? So please, like keep it interactive, make it your question and answers, and then we can, yeah, take it forward from there. Thank you very much. Right. Cool. So I'll present my screen and then we'll start on the session. And just give me a minute. Okay. Cool. Right. So today we have our session on the latest innovations that are going on, right? For that, we'll be drawing up a roadmap, which will start with the things what we people are doing currently, what are the prerequisites, and how you all can be prepared for what's coming forward, right? So that will be the overall agenda. Perfect. So some key things that we'll be entertaining today is where all the market is growing in the AI world, in which segment, which domain, what kind of technology people are using, what kind of project they are building. What are the basics that you should be having on your plate in terms of fundamentals, right? Then it comes to two major advanced topics at a very high level that can be your big data analytics. And on the secondary part comes your NLP, computer vision, and then Gen AI related stuff. To accomplish all these goals and to learn these things all, what kinds of tools and techniques one should have on their forte, right? And what kind of a trend we see in the upcoming days, because like today, if a job opportunity comes, that is based on what people have already done in the last 1 or 2 years. For you all, let's say you are all learning, exploring, and exploring this domain, entering into this world, so it will take some time for you to hone on these skills. And then after a year or what, when you'll be ready, at that time, what will be the relevant skill, right? If you can plan accordingly, we'll get a better perspective, right? So keeping those things in mind, let's dive in. I'll be keeping an eye on the chat window every now and then, right? So please put your questions as soon as you are getting them. Cool. So talking about the innovation per se, right? We have a lot of industry. I could enter as many industries as possible, but I try to keep it short. Something which I have worked on or something that I can give you more understanding in case you have questions is terms of various domains where AI is exploding, right? And when it comes to exploding, healthcare is something which is unbeatable, right? Especially people who are planning to be in the computer vision field. Healthcare domain is one such sector that is exponentially increasing in the AI world. A lot of people are trying to build their projects portfolio around image related stuff because of the healthcare department. The only roadblock in the previous days, it was the domain knowledge, right? Someone like you and I, we don't have any MBBS degree and something like that, right? So we lack the medical knowledge. But given the the ease of working with Python, all the packages which are available in these days in the data science and the AI world, it's not a major roadblock these days to enter any particular domain, even if you don't have a solid foundation in that domain, because you will be taking on your AI skills with you, right? And you'll always be surrounded with domain expertise that can help you clear your doubts with respect to data. But in the end, your AI skills can leverage the domain knowledge, and together you can build amazing products. So this is one sector where a lot of new things are happening, right? I'm not saying that solutions already exist and people are just replicating those things, right? This is not that sector. This is a sector where your creativity and innovation will kick in, right? Especially in the MRI, your CT scans, and X-rays, these have a potential usage. There are a lot of research going on for which companies, IoT based companies, are hiring AI experts in the medical side of it, right? On top of it, that is you'll be more or less kind of a domain that requires you to be have a very high end knowledge of AI, right? But not day one will not cannot be accomplished that. So for people who are entering into the market, for them the safest industry is your finance industry. Why? Because finance is something you don't need a 5 years degree to master it, right? With practice over the year, or maybe in 6 months, you understand the fundamental of that department. It could be your banking sector, the financial of an investment banking, your financial of a retail company, Basically, anything that deals with numbers, right? Here, there are a lot of applications in terms of machine learning, not specifically AI, but machine learning based models. We'll talk about what is the major distinguish between them, but right now we are exploring the industry perspective, right? So finance and retail is one such industry where people who are new to the market, they should definitely target. Why? Because it does not require you to have an exponential knowledge of a domain. Your basic understanding of number, your creative thinking, your analytical skills really comes in handy. Your quick understanding of their business, the idea behind what kind of a promotion companies are running. As simple as I'll tell you, okay, let's say you're working with the big basket, right? And they want to give promotions out for any product, right? So the machine learning that people these days are using is in that much exhaustive. They'll be like, how much discount we should give, and for how much duration one should give discount, right? For example, if you want to give a 10 rupees off on a 100 rupees product, right? You can give that discount 10 rupees on every product or for 10 days, right? Or you can give 5 rupees discount for all the products, but for 20 days, right? But more or less different combinations are there. You can change the discount depth, you can change the discount duration, you can change the discount on weekday versus weekend, online versus offline. So you see so many permutation and combinations are available. Now, who's going to come up with a strategy that optimizes the revenue? Company is not interested in giving out discounts, right? Let's be very honest with them. They are not here to give you discounts. They are here to make more money. So what is an ideal way of promoting these products? Right. So this is just a small example. So these are like the two major industry. One, as I said, is into too much of an exploration and innovation. The second is good for your number game. And something which is very fancy these days going on is your transportation, right? Ola is hiring like crazy in terms of, transportation based. Uber is hiring like crazy. Almost your airline industry is hiring. So when I mention transportation, I'm keeping it very generic. It's like all kinds of transportation, right? It's covers the major segment of travel industry, you can say, right? Not just transportation. It contains your railways, airlines, vehicles, two-wheelers, optimizing the distance, their automation cars, their planning strategy. It's like a segment which is increasing like no other segment. Why? Because every other company is either into, like, say, electronic vehicles these days, automation vehicles, sensor-based cars, and there are AI applications installed in the two-wheelers and cars. The entire new vehicles that are coming is AI based, right? The sensors are automatically sensing, maintaining the temperature of the cars and all that. You yourself know that how much of an explosion is going on in the new cars, and even in the two-wheelers also, right? Even in if you're going for a scooter or a scooty or a bike, you go these days, the ignition has an AI system, right? Which automatically saves your petrol and efficiency, right? So we are living in this segment. It's not hidden, right? It's not like you and I are going to explore and will not get the answer. It is already there, right? So this is at a level, high level. I wanted to address like what all industries are there, right? So if anyone has any questions into any particular industry, you can start putting on the chat. I'll also take a look if you have any questions. I think Siddharth has quickly answered a lot of the questions, right? Job specific questions, as I can see, a lot of people domain specific questions you're asking, right? So I think mechanical, I can see, Sandeep, transportation could be a very good industry for you because you already have a lot of knowledge in that segment. So now you know which kind of a company you can target, right? And other segments are there, right? So these are like various kinds of organization that you can definitely leverage, right? And for freshers, I would say retail is the best particular format, right? Then moving on forward, I told you about these are like a high level industries, but what are the key skills required to obtain your, I mean, like what kind of work will you do? Like what is the bare minimum things, as the title of our presentation goes, as the fundamental or the things, essential skills that you required to be part of these organizations. That is what's very important is, right? So for that, something we have on our plate is the basics of all that you should master is before even leveraging the AI part is your fundamentals of machine learning. If that is not clear, right, jumping directly onto the AI world could be little havoc. Why? Think about it, it's like you are not learn how to walk, but you are planning to run, right? So your application might work sometimes, and sometimes you get confused, what is the error, why is the error? So that's why taking baby steps at the starting, understanding the fundamentals, building the robust machine learning models is a very ideal thing to do, right? So your fundamentals include like your supervised machine learning models. These are the models where you have a target column associated with you. Just to give you a few examples, right? If I ask you, HP is gonna, like summer vacations just got over, let's say, right? And back to school programs are given by Apple, HP, and laptop. So they're expecting a lot of laptops getting sold. So how gonna they optimize their revenue? The revenue column is already there, and they want to optimize a model, machine learning model that can predict their revenue for the upcoming months. It's a kind of a regression model. There is an output column associated with it, right? Similarly, well, what is then unsupervised model? Unsupervised models are more or less models that takes care into account when there is no target column associated, right? For example, you and I are running a cafe, a simple normal cafe. Hundreds of customers come every day, right? Now, to bring some sense of the type of customers coming, I don't know which customer is high value customer, which customer is low value customer, which customer is average value customer. How would I know that? I have so many parameters. I'm collecting every data. How many times a customer is coming, how much money they are spending, when is the last time they are visiting, whether they are using any coupons or not, right? If they are giving feedback or not. I have the data, but how will I put them into different buckets? That is something your unsupervised kind of a model can build for you, right? Now, these are topics which requires a lot of extensive research, but at a very high level, I want you to have a crystal clear idea in terms of what you are trying to achieve here, right? Again, a lot of interaction. And lastly, if in terms of fundamentals, right? The evaluation. Evaluation means I can build n number of models, machine learning models. But these days, the major problem, the skill gap that is we are observing is student knows how to build a model, but they are not standard models. Like the evaluation is not good. You're getting a good model on your training data, but when you're deploying it into the production, it's not working as expected. Why is that? Right? So to answer those questions, we have our model evaluation kind of a thing, right? To make our model more robust that can be deployed. So we have few questions in terms of DSA record required. For data structures, I would say basic level is more than enough, but basic to medium level is required these days. Reason being, a lot of companies, good companies, are asking data structure questions, right? Okay. Okay. I think a lot of people have a different confusion in terms of the role part, right? People who have good knowledge of management and all, it will be great if you don't want to get into hands-on, but you want to be part of a team that is working on AI and Gen AI. You want to be part of a brainstorming session, Murthy. In that case, it will be good to have knowledge, at least in a high-level knowledge of what these models are, so that tomorrow if you are gonna lead or working as a guidance to someone who are fresh in the data science industry who can read and write the codes, you will be able to provide them a path. Otherwise, imagine interacting day in, day out with folks where you don't have any idea about these things, which is very adamant. Every organization is already leveraging these things. There is no organization that is not using AI. So even at a conversational level, if you're interacting with them, imagine how will you get it right, right? People who already have data engineering experience, it's a very easy transition to data science world. Or even if you're not, you can pursue your data engineering skill and master that. Try to get more into big data and analytics like Spark and streaming, because that is also a lot required these days. I would now personally would say, uh, don't jump just because of the hype, right? If you are already good with the data engineering front, stick to it. The requirement of data engineering is almost twice compared to data science these days, right? People which already have programming language experience, it could be any language or even database knowledge. If you already have, that is very well respected these days in the industry, because people who are coming with fresh data science skills, they don't have programming skills, right? They don't have the coding skills, they don't have database knowledge, so it's little difficult for them. I'm not saying impossible, but difficult. But if you already have programming skills, you are a perfect fit, right? Okay, cool. So good, good. These are good questions. I'll come back to the remaining questions in a while, right? Yeah, perfectly asked questions, people, especially, since it's a data science class, I don't want to make it 100% data science. We should be very well versed in terms of analytics and big data, that is data engineering, right? It is growing crazily, as I already told you in quote. Data engineering is also equally good as compared to data science, right? However, person who is into data science and has elementary knowledge of data engineering are valued more, because you can interact with the data engineering team, and at the same time a good amount of data science projects can be built, right? So that is something is being handled properly, correct? uh, in terms of cloud skill, as you can see, I'm talking about data lakes like AWS S3, Azure data lakes. Getting a cloud knowledge at this time is must. Why? Almost every organization is going on to cloud. Hardly any organization left that are on prem, right? So since there are no organization on prem, then what's the point of being leveraging these skills locally? It's good to add on any kind of a cloud skill on your forte, right? And same goes for tools, for analytical people, data analytics. Power BI and Tableau is really good. Basic knowledge of Excel, I would say, will help you in the longer run, right? And for advanced people who are building reporting tools and automating, Python and kind of Airflow would be really good. But the reason I didn't put them here, those are like comes after an advanced stage. Like once you have already mastered all the basic level analytical skills, that is where your advanced mechanism comes into picture. But at a granular level, your uh, machine learning, your statistical models, and those things will be more than sufficient for you to proceed with, right? Uh, that is with respect to your data analytics point of view, right? Then you can put in your thoughts and questions in this direction if you have any, right? We'll quickly take a look at into the advanced topic that is will be a must for people who are looking for a job in next 6 months to 1 year, and then I'll circle back to the Q&A chat part, right? Now, this is something of a content that would be a must for a data scientist. I'll be very honest with you, right? The traditional machine learning models are important to build your fundamentals, and those will be your screening rounds for almost every organization. However, in real world, most of the organizations gonna be recruiting people for a niche skill. What could be these niche skills? These could be your NLP chatbots, your computer vision related products, or your Gen AI related applications, right? Now, these are little bit of advanced stuffs, right? And there is like a plethora of information available for them and time required to master them. Like I have worked on n number of computer vision products, NLP products that went live. Some of them remained POC, right? But what I've learned is that there is no end to the exploration I can do. Even today, even after building so many applications, still I don't get amazed if someone says something new that I have never worked on, because there is so many things available in the market that you know is challenging us to build new and new products. There's always something new. For example, if I talk about embeddings in the NLP, right? So word to wake, BERT, glove, these are various kinds of embedding tools available. Now, since transformer models are there, GPT models are there, more kind of embeddings are coming. What are these embeddings? Embeddings is nothing, just the conversations that you and I are having right now, like the questions that you're putting on chat, how computer understands them and get an inference out of them, right? A very elementary thing for Gen AI thing. So if you want to be a part of Gen AI and if you don't have good understanding of NLP, then it will be a big gap, right? And then talking about computer vision, oh, that's just an plethora of computations available. Like for example, very practical use case. Let's talk about Digiyatra is there, right? So Digiyatra, you all know that you go to an airport, the application takes your photo and all done. Did you give thousands of images to the model to train? No. While registering, you just give one image and that's it. So from that one image, now you are going to the airport after 1 year with long hair, less hair, right? Sunglasses, different clothes, but it's still able to identify you. So what kind of these models are, right? The object detection kind of a model, like in cricket and football, you see the ball is getting tracked, the players getting tracked, their movement is getting tracked, and their prediction is done. So all these object detection models are there in the market. So entertainment industry, your sports industry uses AI crazy. There is no company like Nike, your EA Sports, and all those things. They are hiring streaming services like Netflix, Hotstar. They are hiring extensively for computer vision, right? So in terms of applications, it's a never-ending topic, right? You and I can talk about more and more content, right? So that is with your basics of your natural language processing and computer vision. And then once you have a good or solid understanding of natural language processing and computer vision with quality amount of time spent, this is not a skill that is achieved overnight. It's I wish I could have sugar coated it, put it in a way that you will learn it. No, let's be very realistic about these things, right? Because you have to do these in industry when you get recruited, and each and every one of you are here because you want to be part of a Gen AI world in the end goal. Now, that's not a skill that you can acquire in day one. People are learning these skills from ages. That's why the model are where they are right now, right? But the advantage that means you and I get is we can do these things little faster pace because we don't have to start from scratch. The pipeline has already been set for us, right? That's why when I connect with anyone, I always say that, be very, optimist while learning generative AI. Clear your fundamentals first. I interact with students who have no basic understanding of mathematics, missing the knowledge of supervised and unsupervised model, have very elementary knowledge of NLP, and they are building, Gen AI model and they're saying we are getting output. So you are not building any model, you're calling an API from Hugging Face, OpenAI, and that thing is doing your work. And imagine if you are building a model that takes half an hour, why would an organization will pay you a huge amount of money and call you a Gen AI? If you can do that for half an hour, they will hire an intern and get it done, right? If you can do it in half an hour, they can also do it. So the major gap here is not calling OpenAI key or Hugging Face application to build these things, but building those application on your own, fine tuning those application on your data set, making a robust end-to-end application with database knowledge that leverages Gen AI. If you have those skills, yes, you will be a valued resource in the market, right? So that's the Gen AI point of view, right? So if you have good knowledge of mathematics, statistics, supervised learning, NLP, computer vision, that will lead you to the world of Gen AI, right? So we talked about a lot of things here. So if you have any more questions, please try to put it into the chat window, right? I'll also take few things. So we have something like, in AWS.
Jayant, actually, we're not able to see your video.
Oh, just give me a minute. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Is it working now?
Yes, yes.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. So I see more this question in terms of AWS, right? You have a good knowledge of AWS full stack. That is like an amazing skill these days. A lot of American-based organizations are already on AWS, right? So a person with the Gen AI skill on top of AWS is a hot skill right now. We have deployed our application on AWS based, right? Kubernetes and using Lambdas and Lex chatbot, and it's so easy to create, applications from end to end because of the AWS stack. So if you have knowledge about cloud and it's in general, right, and you have knowledge about MongoDB and databases, right, if it can add a skill on top of it where you understands the fundamentals of NLP and what and more you can do in terms of fine tuning a computer vision model, you can make any amazing applications, right? So there is no, like a guaranteed output, but their probability of getting recruited at a fine organization increases. Right. I'll give you a very practical example right now. If you look at organizations like Uber and Ola, right? If you go to their job portals, they're hiring machine learning engineers and Gen AI engineers, right? And if you look at the requirements these days, they'll be asking for backend knowledge, basics, cloud skill, as you mentioned, AWS, right? Some coding level basic knowledge. And then lastly, it would mention that you should have your machine learning skills, Gen AI and all. Why? The Gen AI and machine is written in the end and more of a cloud backend and DSA because even they know that building NLP computer vision is very pipelined in the AWS, GCP, and Azure. It does not require a rocket science to build these application from there. Like, I mean, you can build like a classification model, regression model in half an hour or 1 hour. But bringing that model to life by setting up a database, by setting up a deployment screen, by setting up an output window, using that application to host an API on a fast API or a Streamlit application or hosting in Slack pod or anywhere else. That skill is missing, right? So I'm not saying you need all these skills to get a job, but I'm saying a very finer organization with high paying jobs will require, right? So very well placed comment by Piyush, something called your ML ops, AI ops, right? So your end to end pipeline, very nicely put, right? That is a good point. So if you have experience in retail or and you're fresher in this domain, you are more or less like me when I started. I worked as a data engineer in the retail industry and I wanted to transfer to into data science, right? The reason I got into the market because I studied more on retail than data science, right? Because I knew that a lot of people were working on data science skills. So that will be a competitive market. But if I can add knowledge of my retail on top of it, that helped me get into markets, right? So what I did is I targeted organizations who are focusing on retail clients, and I used to focus my profile in terms of I'm a data science who have worked in retail. So my first round used to be data science, that's it, and then I used to be grilled on the retail part. So since I was a fresher at that time, approximately, if I'm not wrong, 17 to 19 interviews I gave, and almost very less, 3 or maybe 4 offer letters I got. Majority of those rejection because a lot of people were saying you don't have a full-fledged experience on data science, you have never built models and blah blah blah. But you just need one opportunity, right? You don't need all 19 job offer letter. Be very practical. I got that one. Once you are into the market, once you have started building model, that's it. Then there is no going back, right? So sometimes we have to be a little patient and very smartly showcase the skills that we have on our plate, right? Uh, I see one of the questions from Ankit, like it's a BTech you already have in CSE. Oh, that's wonderful, right? So you are from a computer science background, you already have basic knowledge of coding, right? For freshers, the only catch and difficulty is most of the organization go for the campus placement for interns, right? I have seen very limited companies that take freshers, especially when I'm talking about the product companies or the startups. It's very rare that I've seen they are taking freshers outside of campus. Rare. Mostly service companies do that, right? So you can try and TCS, Accenture. I started my career with Accenture, right? Infosys. They give you an option to work as a data science and data analyst as an intern for off-campus freshers, right? So that would be a very good strategy to follow, right? So I'll come back. I mean, this is really good. I can see a lot of questions and interaction. I'll come back to the chat and let's proceed. So now talking about the tools and techniques that one should have it on their plate to master these skills, right? So we talked about industries, we talked about different basic fundamentals, advanced fundamentals, job opportunities, career path, your background, your future, what you are looking for. But now let's talk about the tech skills and tools you should be having on your plate so that you can bring all these things to life, right? So again, this is a very exhaustive list and the subsequent slides where I have tried to put everything that one should be having on their plate. You don't have to master them on day one. It's a big roadmap, right? But having this all consolidated really help us in giving us a perspective that, yeah, you know, what are the things that I should focus? What are the low hanging fruits? What are the things that I should be putting up, the immediate skills that I need to learn? And what will be my long, short goals? Right. So to be very honest, even I don't have all the experience. Even the seniors that I'm working with don't have experience on all the fields. Hardly anyone you will find that have experience and knowledge and confident in working all the tech stacks. But basic know-how, your conversational skills, at least the confidence to say, if someone comes to me and asks me, can you work on Azure today? I have worked extensively on AWS, bare minimum with the Google Cloud, and academically with Azure. If today an organization comes to me, I can confidently say I can work. Why? Even if I have not worked hands-on, why? Because of the confidence I have from AWS and GCP. I can confidently say that I can work in Azure, right? So again, you don't have to master, let's say, AI-driven analytics, right? So TensorFlow, right? And then organizations say, but our application is on PyTorch. So TensorFlow is from your like Google, and now PyTorch is more of your Facebook and Windows related stuff. So do you want to work here? Yeah, I can say, yeah, I can, give me a few weeks. I'll be and easily transfer my code from TensorFlow to PyTorch, because if I have one skill, I can migrate into any other skills, right? So this is a high level distribution that covers your base advanced analytics like Python, programming languages like Python, R, Julia and Scala is also very trending these days, but I would say I will put my money on Python. Talking about the frameworks or AI driven analytics, TensorFlow and PyTorch is leading. Real time data analytics like Twitter, Zomato, Netflix, news channels, cricket, sports, football, basketball analysis uses your Kafka and Spark streaming. Governance wise, Collabra and Apache is really trending. NLP wise, basic libraries that you should all be knowing, at least at a basic level. NLTK, Spacey, GenSim, and Transformer is something which all the Gen AI people are using, right? Uh, Augmented analytics, IBM Watson. Now that's a very niche skill. You have to be either part of IBM team, and very few service companies are leveraging IBM Watson. Uh, it's more of a tool, but an AI kind of an environment. Virtual reality based products are being used, right? Cloud, you already know. These are the major three clouds: AWS, GCP, Azure. Even Snowflake is entering into the market. Databricks is also doing good. One of you mentioned ML ops, AI ops, data ops is also coming. So, your Kubeflow, DVC, these are tools-based organization that just like your software, right? You do Git push, GitHub. Same thing with the data ops. For data related tasks, we use DVC. Then for something for future, you have blockchain, right? And for analyticals, visualization skills, we have Tableau, Power BI, Superset, ClickSense, and various other tools, right? So this is just an exhaustive list. People who wants to further take this into advanced world, right? So I have a separate slide for it, as you can see on my screen. Once you have mastered the basic skills that I showed you on the first screen, you can take your game to the next level. Now, this is something which is currently trending and will be there for a few more years, until and unless then we will start getting more of a quantum computing thing. But for that, we have time. At the moment, something of a skill that you should all be focusing on, because you all are learning, is your edge AI is trending, right? Explainable AI, your Lime and Shapley, because people are asking questions. What does your AI is even doing? You're building a model and you can't even explain what your model is doing, right? Auto ML is trending. Quantum computing is at a very high level right now. You will at a very high level in the sense not major content is available. Give it a year or two, it will also be there in the market, right? Package based, as I already told you, TensorFlow is like leading. And when it comes to computer vision, your OpenCV, YOLO is trending a lot. Detectron is also an amazing application, a kind of a framework which helps you build amazing models, right? A lot of edge AI companies are directly using these products. So if you have built application using YOLO and Detectron, your probability of getting in appointment in these kinds of an organization will be really high, right? So this is a base level slide and the advanced level slide, right? I mean, again, I'll request if you have any questions, please put it on the chat window, right? I'll be taking a look in a while and then we'll entertain those questions. Perfect, right? That's not the end, right? Let me put it into, that was just an exhaustive list, but I know that, it will be really wise for all of you to learn them in a scale up level, right? So when we are trying to learn them as a scale up level, what we can do is first thing first, don't go bonkers on day one. Try to, follow a stringent path in terms of acquiring the basic skills first and then developing on top of it. Basic skills are like a fundamental skills that focuses on your basic level data analysis, simple machine learning models, right? Understanding Python properly. Don't go crazy on data science without learning the basics of Python first. And acquiring at least one cloud skill so that you can interact with your data or model through a cloud server. Because as I told you, 99% of the companies are on cloud server. Even if you are good in data science, but you have no knowledge about cloud, how you will not be able to work on that, right? Then comes your advanced skills, your GPT skills, your OpenAI skills, your object detection skills, your NLP skills. That comes at a later stage, right? So perfect opportunity. Now I have mentioned so many technology, so many tech skills. It would be really wise for all of you to put your thoughts and questions in that direction in the chat window, right? So before we go on down, let me see if you have more questions. Okay. So Piyush is asking why blockchain? Why? The reason being future transactions, future data transfer will be through your blockchain. So an amalgamation of AI and blockchain will be a trending thing because I wanted to put some a topic that is not today is trending, but it will be there, right? After a year or not, you will start seeing startups and small scale companies working in the blockchain and an amalgamation with AI. So if you already have knowledge at that time, you will be very valued resource, right? So a lot of organization have already started doing their transactions and data transfer through blockchain. So that's an inevitable thing. It's just it will take time to for a mass audience to accept it. So if you have basic knowledge, it will really be helpful. Okay, good. And lastly, in talking about the things which are yet to come, which are not there. I mean, when I say not there means not extensive amount of resources are available to master, but something which will be there, so which is very adamant, which you know we are running towards it as the technology is scaling such fast rate. Uh, People are upscaling at such a high rate that in a very near future you will start seeing these things into the market, like your quantum computing. Right now, only thing that is stopping us, the infra is really expensive. Nobody can afford it. That's why we are not able to do a hands-on, right? But once it becomes affordable, we have seen the burst in AI. Why? Because the hardware became affordable, right? So same thing, the day hardware will become affordable, you will see an increment in quantum, right? Same for your federated learning and organized way of training model, which trains itself, right? Providing you secure application, data privacies, ethical uses of the application, those frontier, like the logistic part of the model building. Right now, people are just crazily building models. The well documented AI laws gonna be implemented soon. So at that time, experts in AI in the legal field will be very highly resources, right? And as I was mentioning, explainable AI, right? People are not leveraging this skill at all. Organization are saying, okay, you have built a model, it is giving me output. Can you explain what your model is doing? And people have no answers to it. Students are just learning how to build model. They are giving the output, and then they are not able to explain the model. So there is a big gap between your model and the explainability, right? So Shapley, Lime, these packages are already there, but just people are, to be honest, how do I put it? It's lazy, right? So at this moment, if you have these skills on your resume, imagine the value that you can bring onto the table, right? And obviously, lastly, we have the ethics and governance, which is your model should not be biased. It should not AI. You see, ChatGPT when they released, they made a legal team set up that if anything happens, they are not responsible for it. If any answer is wrong, ethically, race-wise, gender-wise, right? If hurt sentiments, it's giving biased answers. They are not responsible for it. There is a proper legal team for it, right? So that is kind of a very, very valuable thing, right? So that brings us to the conclusion, but it'll be very, very helpful for me to understand if you have any questions, thoughts, and doubts that you want to ask away, right? So please take advantage of chat and Q&A, and I'll be more than happy to take questions.
Thank you so much, Jayant. You broke it down wonderfully.
Yep, no
So,
problem.
anyone, please use this. Yeah, I think you have a question.
Oh yeah, I can see few questions, right? In terms of mechanical domain person, Sandeep, I would say mechanical is quite a branch which is be very relevant from the automation industry, especially the manufacturing companies. They are leveraging AI in terms of the system design, right? Almost all AutoCAD products you might have seen, they have already started leveraging AI, right? So at that frontier, if you already have the knowledge about the object detection and the detectron model that I mentioned during one of the slides, right? That will give you an edge over people who are just coming up with the mechanical knowledge, right? But your market is a little niche right now. I would not say, and be very honest with you, like not thousands of job compared to other domain, but there are, right? And their proposition of offer is also very high because the market is new. Not new, it's just little small compared to other markets. Okay. Then we have core tech stacks. I would say, I would put my money on Python, SQL, and in terms of packages, if you have knowledge about NumPy, Pandas, sklearn, at a very elementary level, these five things are for you to good and safe for you to say yes, you can work in the data science world even at an intern level. That is more than efficient, right? Yeah, Piyush, I agree. Quantum is a long way ahead. I do agree, but it is there, right? We should start talking about it. I completely agree with you, right? So yeah, that is there. Start. If anything else left, I guess I think we covered everything. If I'm not wrong.
I'm just scrolling up as well. I think you. Okay, there's one more question.
Oh, that's a very interesting question, Nilka. If you have .NET experience, right? I mean, break is a very common thing. There's nothing to be worried about, right? People start fresh. People have seen transitioning from commerce background. One of my colleague was in economics honors. Imagine we both are working on the data science, building codes and writing things. Data science using Python is a skill which does not require you to be a master of coding and a software developer. It's a very easy programming language, and plus you have the advantage of your good programming skills. You have worked in .NET, so you have a good logical thinking, data structure things already on your plate. You just need to revise those things, right? I would say you have a higher chance of getting recruited compared to an absolute fresher because you are coming up with the knowledge of little bit around backend because you must have worked in that domain where applications will be talking to the backend, right? You already know how data structure works. You just have to refine that, right? So for you, learning the basic skills of Python, simple machine learning models, elementary level NLP will be very good. These all skills packaged together, it will be a good transition, or sorry, a good application for you to apply in. Go for a small scale companies first, like a startup or a product game. At a entry level jobs, they will definitely entertain and welcome these kinds of skills more, right? Perfect. Yeah, that would be my point of view for those scenarios. I think this one more question on targeting. Math is really important. I don't know why people say mathematics is not, without mathematics you can build model. I think what they are trying to say is, without mastering, doing a PhD in mathematics, you can be a machine learning on. Yes, yes. I agree with it, right? I am not a PhD in mathematics, but I am also working as a data science lead. But elementary maths is really important if you are working as a research analyst, right? Where you are building models from scratch. But if you're working as an entry level data scientist or a data scientist in a service company that leverages AI, cloud services, pre-built packages, that time it's not that much of an important, because you're already using the APIs and the packages and the code is already written. You are designing the pipeline. At that time, domain knowledge comes in, not much of a math. But if you are doing part of a research team, right, let's say Intel AI, or Google or Microsoft, or a product, IoT product, they are building their own product, then you need to have math skills, because when you are writing a logic and if you don't even know what these models are doing from mathematical point, it will be difficult, right? Good question. Yeah, what else?
So guys, we have Jayant here for some more time. Please ask him any kind of questions you have. You can even unmute yourselves if you want to talk verbally, if you want to ask anything. कोई भी सवाल हो, कैसे भी किसी भी तरीके का आप चैट बॉक्स में डाल सकते हैं। आप अपने आप को अनम्यूट भी कर सकते हैं, हमने वो अलाउ किया है। So we have Jayant here for
Hello.
another yeah, someone who's
Hello. Hi.
Yeah, Harika,
yeah.
please go ahead.
So, as a fresher into like data science with AI, how much package we can expect?
Uh, it's very, I'll give you a diplomatic answer for it. It's a complex question. 2, 3 years back, I would have given you an upfront answer, but right now the market is really, really bizarre, right? Absolute fresher has a lot of definition. Absolute fresher could be in college, pass out. Absolute fresher could be a transition. Absolute fresher could be a break and then coming back, right? Absolute fresher could be a person who's in industry for 10 years but never written a single line of code, right? So different scenarios, different package. If you are a college pass out, I would say there is a, like a burst in the market right now of data scientists because of that competitiveness. The initial packages have dropped a little bit, right? So I'll be very honest with you, it's around 3 to 6 or something. If you're just passed out from college and you have very, elementary knowledge of data science. But people who are coming from a break, people who are coming from a non-IT, people who are transitioning to AI, it's not about the fresher level. It's about what you are drawing earlier. And most of the companies do give respect to that thing. Let's say you're 10 years in the down the line and you're making already good money. So that thing companies do consider. It's not like that companies take advantage of that. No company, good company does that. And if a company is doing that, I'll be very brutal with it. Don't go to that company. Don't work with them, so organization, right? Find a company that works best for you. So I have never experienced such thing. I have seen people getting transition. They have been given a proper hike and all with respect to their current package, right? So it depends on what you're drawing right now or what you were drawing before you took a break. That is always welcomed, right? For absolute beginner, 3 to 6 is something currently the market is at stagnant level. And this is also at a very service-based companies and small scale companies. There are organizations who are paying more, but their process will also be very exhaustive and their requirement is also going to be very, very high. Right? Good. What else? Okay.
There's
What else?
one question in the chat.
Oh, okay. Referral, I would say, these days it's a very good practice. I have dropped a lot of message to people on LinkedIn. I have received a lot of message on LinkedIn. That is one of the best ways to get you referred people who are already working in organizations, right? That is a very, ideal way of doing it, right? Don't apply directly. I'll always try to get yourself referred, increase your forte, right? And that if anything that the organization is doing in that case, if you want to add in terms of referral program, not might be the right person on that front.
Yeah, we'll check with the Apna team if they can
Sure.
help them with some
Yeah, that would
references.
be great. Yeah, perfect. Perfect. Okay, cool.
So, guys, we have a few more minutes. If you have any questions, please. We have Jayant here. You can use his time.
Yeah, Jayant and
Yeah,
Siddharth,
please.
just a question. So, if if we want to give such talks or such events like you gave today, so I mean, what is the process to apply for that?
You'll have to get in touch with the Apna admin team, Piyush.
Okay.
Good.
Just one more question.
Designation, don't stress about that much. Yeah, I've seen data science is one of the very common designation in the data world. Data analyst is also one. Companies are not very straightforward with the designations. You might be hired as a data analyst in Walmart and you will be building models, right? You might be hired as a data scientist in Accenture and you'll be doing data engineering over there. So it's a mix of thing. I would say don't stress about the designation. Entry level, don't just apply wherever the word senior is mentioned or a lead. Other than that, everything works perfectly fine. Okay, fair enough. Cool.
Anyone else? Just wait for one more minute. There are more questions. We will conclude the session.
Okay, no worries.
I think there's one question from Foster.
That's an interesting perspective. If you want to get an MTech or an MS, that is also a good thing. I will not say that's a bad idea. It's a really good idea. I went for a PG, like a hybrid one. I used to go to classes, but on weekends, right? You can try that also. And you can go for a proper full-fledged MTech or an MS also. Uh, MS and MTech gives you an opportunity to be part of a research team at a core company that has its own perks. Learning online is also an amazing platform. You can enroll yourself for various certifications. YouTubes and all those things are there. Communities like Apna helps you a lot in that direction. You can definitely learn, right? But in that case also I've seen people doing a lot, but it comes with a explicit ask from your side to invest a lot of time and dedication in exploring online, talking to the community people, interacting with people on LinkedIn, be keeping yourself up to date, building models, taking part in hackathons and all that, because you have to build your profile, right? One way or the other, you have to sell your profile as a good package. So I would say it's not a bad idea to go for MTech and MS also.
Great. Thank you so much. So with that, we'll conclude today's session.
Sir, I have one question, one last question.
No problem.
Uh, See, in YouTube, I saw some previous videos like there are some companies who provide like training after taking the candidates into the job. They provide some training on data science or data analytics, and then they will give job like training and jobs, something like that. So, do you have any? Any companies like that right now who can?
I don't have a direct link for these kinds of company. I never get an opportunity to interact with any such organization, but I know for a fact that companies where I worked, they generally hire interns or the final year of students or even post that on campus, train them for 6 months or a year, and then evaluate them and give them an offer letter. Yeah, that does happen. I do agree with you. But like companies which are hiring off campus or experienced people and then training and that is not a very very popular thing. I would say very few companies might be there that are doing it, but all the interaction in the companies where I have worked, applied or seen, I never saw that at a very high level. But if they are people doing, it would be very, very niche skill that, like imagine someone is
Actually,
hiring you on campus.
actually,
Yeah.
actually, yeah, actually, I got a call 6 to 8 months back actually from Cognizant for
Okay.
DevOps. So
Okay.
they said you can apply with your previous experience. You can crack the interview with your previous experience. We will train you on DevOps. At that time, I was not ready to join the job actually. So I am looking for such type of jobs right now, but I'm unable to find those now,
Yeah, and
right now.
I do agree with you. Do agree. That is very, very rare, as you mentioned, right? It's quite rare. It's not, if it would have been readily available, or a lot of companies would have doing it, definitely you would have, got those opportunities on LinkedIn or Naukri or something like that. It happens very, very rare, because if I want to hire someone, let's be very practical. I can get an intern and then train them. Is cheaper and more effective. But talking on a practical sense, and if I'm hiring a experienced person, I would be expecting them to have some basic knowledge, right? So at the moment, I don't have any specific company name that are hiring on these fronts.
Great.
Okay, cool.
Thank you, Alec. Yeah. That. So yeah, with that we conclude. Thank you so much, Jayan, for joining us today
Thank you,
and
Siddharth. Thank you, everyone.
for sharing your experience with us. I believe everyone found this session useful, and I think we were able to address all of the questions that were put. Thank you, everyone, for joining in and making this a successful session. Quick reminder, I've put the feedback form multiple times on chat. Please do fill it. It helps us in making the sessions better and planning better. Your feedback can help us improve. You can also visit the Apna website, which I have put it in the link, where you can see this session's recording and the previous session's recordings as well. Also, the future upcoming events, all that details will be provided there. You can also register by joining the Apna community and commenting interested on the event announcement posts that we make there. So, as mentioned in my introduction, we have these sessions every day. So tomorrow we'll be having the next one at 7 p.m. So we hope to see you all in the next session. Thank you again, Jayan. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Good night.
Thank you.
Have a great evening.
Thank you.